Just for explanation, IG, the EACC, the National Treasury, Auditor General, ISPAC, and Control of Budget, they sit in our committee. They follow all our proceedings on a daily basis. And so this is how we are usually constituted. Let me allow the IG to go on record and also to introduce the team he has come with.
Good morning, Chair, honorable members of this very, very important Committee of Public Accounts. This morning, I'm honored to be here. My name is Douglas Kanja. I'm the Inspector General, National Police Service. My other senior colleagues, the Deputy Inspector General in charge of the Kenya Police Service, the Deputy Inspector General in charge of the Administrative Police Service, the DCI, all of them we could have assembled here together, but they are currently involved in other operations that are distributed throughout our country. But with me, I have a legal team, and I will do which that each can be able to introduce himself.
They may proceed.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, members. My name is Peter Thuku from the Office of the Inspector General, Legal Counsel.
Good morning, Chair. My name is Kerry Nyawinda from DCI, NPS, Investigations Bureau. Thank you.
Karibu.
The Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Members, my name is James Mrethi from the Office of the Inspector General, National Police Service. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair. I'm Christine Temko, the Director, Legal Affairs, Administration Police Service. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, Chair, Honorable Members. I'm Jerena Muhia, Office of the Inspector General.
Good morning, Chair. Laban Misoi, Office of the National Police Service.
We welcome the delegation from the National Police Service. Now that we have all gone on record and we know who is in the room, I also acknowledge the media who are present. We will then go straight to the main agenda of our meeting today, which is to have a conversation with the National Police Service to deliberate on potential areas of collaboration between the committee and the Office of the Inspector General. I think to lay some background, IG, it has been quite a journey in this country to ensure that we have a police service that is professional, and we are happy to see some of the fruits of the efforts that Parliament has put in, that the nation has invested in. I think, as we said earlier, one of the good things about our country, despite the cynicism, is that someone in Nairobi can wake up, get into their car, and drive to any part of this country without fearing that they'll meet Al-Shabaab or they'll meet insurgents along the way. We don't take it for granted what the National Police Service has done to ensure that there is law and order and to ensure that Kenyans feel safe. It has also been a journey to ensure that the National Police Service remains accountable to the people and remains accountable to the people through Parliament. Initially, we had a little bit of a struggle on the process of appointment of the Inspector General of Police. I was present in the 11th Parliament when we were struggling to interpret the Constitution, and we got to the conclusion that the Inspector General of Police is such an important position that the vetting and appointment must be processed by Parliament, meaning both to ensure from EACC. Governors come here and we unveil instances and incidences, criminal acts, because they are criminal because they are defined as offenses in the penal code and in statute. Kenyans are frustrated. They say Senate is just making noise. All the things that they are talking about, nothing is happening. No one is being investigated. No one is being prosecuted. No one is being convicted. Of course, we must educate Kenyans that there is that separation. In the past, we would forward matters to you. We would expect you to investigate. We would expect you to prosecute. and wait for the judiciary to convict. So things have changed. So there is that frustration. And I think that in this open conversation, we would like to get your thoughts on how do we ensure that when Parliament makes recommendations on matters that border on criminality, how can we interface with the National Police Service, the DCI, to ensure that Kenyans feel like some action has been taken? Because we as Senate, we cannot investigate, we cannot prosecute, we cannot, arrest people. Secondly, there are a few governors who have decided that they will not come before Parliament, which is a constitutional obligation and a constitutional duty. And we are put in law under the Powers and Privileges Act that where someone summoned fails to appear, there could be recourse to fines, or Parliament may request the IG of police to arrest and produce that person. How do we effectively make use of that provision? I know that the first recourse should be to build strong intergovernmental relations between the Senate and even that institution called the Council of Governors, so that there's an understanding that appearing before this committee is a constitutional obligation. But where a few governors do not understand and do not care about the Constitution, how can the Senate partner with the National Police Service to enforce the attendance of witnesses? So I think these are perhaps two of the key issues that could be the starting point of our conversation, how we can partner to deal with criminality in counties, because the DCI, I think, is under your purview, and how we can partner to enforce the attendance and appearance of witnesses before this committee. Honorable members, I was just laying the background. I know we didn't field specific questions to the IG to respond. If I've left out something, I would allow the members to emphasize. And IG also, if you have anything in terms of a written response, it can be circulated. Members, anything supplementary? Or maybe we can get the IG to respond and then we can respond to his submission. You may proceed, IG.
Months since I was appointed, we have done a lot of works, and majority of you are witnesses of that. Our country remains safe and secure for all of us. A lot of works have, of course, gone into that to ensure that the communities of Kenya, the people of Kenya, they can be able to do whatever they do from morning to evening, and from evening to the next morning without looking over their shoulders because of insecurity, save for few cases here and there, which we have actually been really dealing with. And I want to mention areas like the North Rift that were seriously affected by insecurity due to cattle rustling and other criminal activities. I want to confirm to this committee that the entire of that area, a lot of illicit and illegal firearms have actually been surrendered back. More than 2,000 assorted illicit firearms have actually been surrendered back to the government. A clear indication that the efforts that the National Police Service, of course, we're working together with other security agencies and the Ministry of Interior. The efforts are actually, coming to fruition. That is the reason why you go to Marakwet, illegal firearms have been surrendered. You go to the Pokot areas, illegal firearms have surrendered by those who are, have been holding those firearms and causing a lot of insecurity in those areas. So, and many other areas. Honorable Chairperson and honorable members of the committee, ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to appear before the committee and reaffirm the service commitment to its constitutional mandate. I recognize the vital role of the County Public Accounts Committee in promoting accountability and transparency in the and the service remains committed to collaborate with the committee in strengthening good governance and public trust. In overview, in support of the good governance and accountability, the service collaborates with the parliamentary committees, including this particular committee, the County Public Accounts Committee, the CPAC, in achieving its mandate of county oversight role of public resources in the counties. This collaboration is guided by key legal and constitutional provisions, including, number 1, Article 239 and the 4th schedule of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, establishing the National Police Service as one of the national security organs. Article 125 of the Constitution, this one is the empowering parliamentary committees to summon witnesses and request documents. Number 3, the National Police Service Act 2011, this is the one governing the National Police Service operations, investigations, and enforcement. And number 4, the Public Finance Management Act 2012 that supports oversight of the public resources. The above provisions provide the framework for the National Police Service participation in the committee's oversight functions. So that is where now we are coming in as a National Police Service to work very, very closely with this committee, because the Constitution provides for that. Number 3, areas that we can be able to collaborate. Investigations of misappropriated resources. In cases where the committee establishes that public funds have been misused, the service is always ready to assist in carrying out further investigations, gathering evidence, and ensuring that any county official or county governor found culpable is prosecuted in accordance with the law. Number 3, the enforcement of committee summons. The County Public Accounts Committee, in exercising its power under Article 125 of the Constitution, may summon county officials or governors to appear before it to respond to audit queries. In instances where they refuse to comply, the service, under the direction of the committee, is always ready to arrest and present them before the committee as requested. 3.3, security during committee proceedings and county visits. Honorable Chair and honorable members, I know from time to time you have proceedings in the counties out there.
She can invite any person, and if they fail to appear, this committee can summon any person. And if they fail to appear, then I am glad that we are in agreement that in instances where they refuse to comply, the service under the direction of the committee is ready to arrest and present them before the committee as requested. Of course, this is a nuclear option, and I think it's a power that we want to use sparingly. We should not be judged by the example of our power, but by the power of our example. So yes, from time to time, we will request you to arrest and present witnesses before this committee. But if you have robust intergovernmental frameworks, then it should not be necessary that a governor has to be frog-marched to the Senate by the Inspector General of Police. But members, I think we are in agreement that where that situation arises, we are in agreement that Article 125 and the Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Act might require us to ask the IG to present a witness, because nobody is above the law in this republic. I think that was a very important commitment for us to make, and a very important communication for us to make to the public, not just necessarily to the governors, because that provision says we can summon any person It does not have to be just governors. It can even be county officials. It can be other public officials or even state officers. I think that has come out very clearly. I think what has come out clearly also is that the service will partner and is ready to assist in carrying out further investigations. We might need to have a little conversation between the EACC and the DCI so that we are clear on which matters should we refer to the EACC and which matters should we refer to the DCI. I don't know what your thoughts are on this, because some of the issues coming out of this committee, sometimes you assume that DCI is dealing with hardcore crime and terrorism, narco-terrorism and all those things. And sometimes you don't want to burden them with investigations of county officials. But there are some things that sometimes are outrightly criminal, where county officers ban records. They ban finance records. Happened in Kitui, happened in Migori, happened in Homa Bay, happened in Embu, happened in Kisumu. It's becoming a trend that when their court pants down, they go and ban the records. These ones, I think, are criminal things that ideally the DCI should be seized of. What are your thoughts, IG, on that separation between EACC and DCI?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair and Honorable members.
And those instances are very, very many, and they are captured, some of them are captured in our audit reports. But now we end up prescribing or recommending action without the benefit of maybe further benefiting from further investigations by the DCI. And you've touched on a matter that is very dear to the people of Kitui County. The banning of documents, finance documents, under the administration of a former governor, Charity Ngilu. And that matter was being investigated by the DCI. That matter was flagged by the Auditor General. But we've never had a conversation with the DCI, with the NPS, on where we are with a matter like that, where documents for an entire financial year go up in flames, of course, to cover up on some theft. So Chair, I think we should now move from theory to reality, to practice. And at this point, Chair, I will be asking if this is not jumping the gun, because there is a live matter. Why can't we use it to have a more structured conversation about the readiness of the service to arrest not just governors, to arrest entities or heads of entities who are supposed to appear before the committee and bring them before the committee when requested or required to do so by the Senate committee. And I'm making reference, Chair, to the recommendation that was made by this committee to the Inspector General of Police in relation to the Governor of Samburu, so that we deal with real issues. I thank you, Chair.
Okay. Please, IG, just take note so that we allow the senators to respond, and you respond at once. Senator Kongo Morgan.
Yes, Chair. First, I want to begin by commending very strongly. I want to commend the IG very, very strongly for, demonstrating before us that he is willing to uphold the rule of law, and for demonstrating to us that no public official is above accountability. Really, that's a joy for me this morning, that we have an IG who is willing to tell the country that under his watch, no public official will be above accountability. That is commendable. And I'm proud that when he was vetted, I was on the floor and I voted to have him take that seat of IG. That is really commendable. You know, that commitment, Chair, helps us to build integrity in our institutions and to also have a constitutional order. Because if we don't have a country that respects rule of law, we'll have chaos. We'll have chaos. If we open it up and say it's free soko, free for all, do what you want, obey no law, there will be no country. So that's commendable. And you know, he has put it in writing before us, before this house. He has put it on record that under his watch, and nobody will be above the law. I think that's really commendable, and I want to thank him. Because accountability, Chair, is the foundation of our democracy. If we don't have accountability, there will be no democracy at all. So I think that is good. We should not even spoil the menu. He has presented it, cooked very nicely. Let's not mess it up. That is good. It's agreed. Excellent. The only thing we will do is now to internally develop good working relationship with his office. But the second one, Chair, which has been a problem for this committee, and for once, me, I want to speak now as I don't want to talk as a politician. I want to speak as a person who is patriotic, who loves my country. If you sit in this committee, IG, it's a frustration day in, day out. The reports that we receive from the gentleman to our right, these auditors, the kind of plundering of public resources at our counties makes us feel like we should be crying here every day. So when you put it in writing in point 3.4, that you're also willing to take up investigation of these cases, that is our joy as a committee. Because we want to see action that can act as a deterrence. And I was reading the Constitution in Article 244, and it says the functions and objects of the National Police Service is to prevent corruption. That's your mandate. Yes. To prevent corruption. Yes. It's your mandate. So even if we have EACC, Kenyans deemed it fit to put it there that your mandate should be to prevent corruption, to promote practices of transparency and accountability. So you are our greatest partner as a committee. And there is no way we can hold anybody accountable unless they appear before us. We gave them a chance to tell us their story before we forward the files to you. So I really hope, IG, you can agree that we partner. Our auditors are not politicians. They are the ones who look at the books. They bring the books to us and say, look at what has happened in County A. And we are looking after 47, so nobody should say we are doing politics. I have no interest of vying to be governor in Homa Bay. So if I get a report from Homa Bay, I look at it very objectively, or from McQueen. So let us build on this 3.4, that you can take some of the cases that you can investigate. Can I give you an example? World Bank has flagged 2 counties. County of Kajiado, County of Nyamira. And people holding very high offices, I think CS Treasury is a very senior person, has written to those counties and frozen their accounts. They have written to this committee. There is a letter on record from the PS to us, telling us, look at the plundering of public resources that has taken place at these 2 counties. And how do we look before the eyes of the World Bank that they are coming to help us, to help our people? And we just decided to take those resources, put them in our pockets, create millionaires, and nothing happens. A letter was written to EACC in September. Nothing has happened. Let's begin from there. We partner with the IG. Let him go and do investigations. We can never direct his office. Nobody can say it is politics. Let him do his investigations. If he recommends prosecution, we'll take it up with the DPP. So, Chair, to be brief, me, I'm happy with this engagement. Our good win today is willing to help us on accountability and is willing to partner with us. Let's give him good files where we see that evidence has been presented to us on plundering of resources at our counties. I yield.
Thank you. I think your point is, let's not squander the goodwill. Yes. We have an IG who's willing to work and partner with Parliament. Let's not squander it. Yes. Let's put it into action. Yes. Okay, Senator Gachagua.
Quickly, Chair. I think I'm impressed because I think IG, I'm happy that I voted for the right person in the floor of the House. This is very impressive. You know, with when I went through your submission, it built a lot of confidence in me that we are partners in fighting impunity. Yes. And make sure that we entrench accountability in this country. IG, we have been around for some time. Our prosecutors are the auditors, just like in the police context, where the prosecutors will just come parade a convict before a court of law. And we have seen some very serious cases in various counties where public resources have been squandered, perhaps light. And I think I would request maybe the committee through some provisions. We marry the idea of Senator Wambua, where we are supposed to incorporate the DCI, the way we have brought on board the EACC and the Treasury. Because there are some cases that border strictly on criminality. I remember sometimes we went to a certain county that I don't want to mention. Actually, the chair and the committee declared that county a crime scene. Mm-hmm. Because nothing could be accounted for. Millions and billions of money that have been put in that county for very many years. So we only witnessed some white elephant projects, and these suspects are going scot-free.
And they serve the law. So I believe whatever a cognizable offense is committed, I think the IG should just do their job. I thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Senator Manzo. Senator Cherargei.
Thank you, Chair. I want to commend the IG for appearing, because all of us took the same oath to uphold and protect the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. While I have noted your submissions before the committee, and we agree all of us must be accountable at any level, whether at the police level, as leaders, and any critical. And Chair, there is a small matter where interesting characters within county government ban documents, and I think we have heard of Kitui, Nyamira, and I think another county. There was a county from northern Kenya, was it Garissa, who told us that the flood waters had taken their documents, which is very interesting. My only IG, you have a unit called Critical Infrastructure Protect Police Unit, SIPU. I don't know, do you normally collaborate with these county governments to protect most of this installation and infrastructure, so that these arsonists do not have a field day of destroying documents, which are very critical? Number one, during the investigation, do you participate in reconstructing some of these documents together with EACC and DCI? And third, these people that you have, can we sometimes assist our sergeant-at-arms to restrain some of the governors? When things get too hot, they run away. Like Tarakanite Governor Mutomi, he came here, made the documents, but when he heard the room was getting too hot, he ran away. Can we also request SIPO to assist our sergeant-at-arms to restrain witnesses who would want to run away from accountability? And I've given you an example, and you can even review within the CCTV. And thank God we have a police unit. So can you assist us with that? Finally, Chair, I've sat in this audit committee. The account is IG, and you need just, maybe you can either clarify or you can give your letter. There is this issue of allowances being paid by county governments to some of your police officers. We know the law and SRC regulations does not allow, and I know the EACC and OAG, especially counties that come from northern Kenya, Chair, and I think you are aware of this issue, where they are paying, including double salary to the police officers, paying outside allowances, what is the position as the Inspector General of Police? Are you aware of such instances? Because OAG Patrick is here, can confirm there are some counties who pay more than allowances because, of course, it's allowed by the law, but sometimes they do double salary because they maybe protect the installations within the. So what will be your position on that? And finally, I thought, IG, maybe you can share with us your experience. This fight against corruption and the push for accountability is a responsibility of all of us. We have EACC, we have DCI, of course, which is part of you. We have the ODPP and the judiciary. Chair, I'm aware there is always a colloquium of administrative of justice. Have you sit? Do you think, what do you think we should do to counties? Because you have had sign a communique yesterday that they will never appear before this committee. Because of the timeline of 31st March, the chair and the committee, out of wisdom, has realized that we issue summonses pronto. Do you have enough manpower to frog march or bring the governors who will defy the summonses of this committee and in good time to allow us to interrogate them, write our reports, make recommendations, process them to EACC? Or you want us to request for more allocation in supplementary budget to add more police officers to frog march the fugitive of justice? Chair, can I finish this very pregnant and critical point? You know, I know he will say...
We have another meeting after this.
Chair, I know he will say he needs more resources, so I am also picking his mind that a supplementary budget is coming. Should we add more resources for him to get more police officers to bring fugitive of justice and accountability? Who are the governors? I yield back.
Thank you. Members, there are things we will not discuss in this committee, particularly rumors and allegations that are flying in the digital space, social media, until they are properly processed by Parliament. And so we don't necessarily have to put the IG to task on that. Secondly, specific audit observations, perhaps we might want to do a formal communication on the specific areas for you to respond. But listening to my colleagues, maybe I might summarize before you respond that what we are looking for is a professional and respectful relationship between the service and Parliament. And you have already made that commitment. It is a commitment that is in writing. In fact, maybe one day we might need to ask the IG to just appear before the whole House and make that commitment. Because I think the last time you came before the whole House, we had a small Song of Solomon's, chapter 2, verse 15, says, "Now therefore, catch for us the foxes, the little foxes that ruin the vineyards, our vineyards that are in bloom. Now therefore, catch for us the foxes, the little foxes that ruin our vineyards." These little foxes sit in the Council of Governors, they sit in county governments, they sit in public offices, they sit in state offices. You have dealt with the hardcore criminals. We appreciate you for that. Now, therefore, catch for us the little foxes. IG, you may respond.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair and Honorable members. I have listened very, very carefully to the Honorable members. The issues that have actually been raised, they are passionate issues. A formation that deals with that. That formation is carrying out some very, very important works to ensure that our critical infrastructure remains secure all through. It works together, of course, with everybody else, including the regular police, including the DCI officers, and the other security providers to ensure that our critical infrastructures are well taken care of. And every other time, they are called upon to collaborate and work together with everybody else. I want to assure you, Chair, and the honorable members that we are ready to do that.
Progress has been made on that.
Thank you, Chair. I would like Mr. Thuku, one of our legal teams, to say something in that respect. Mr. Thuku.
Okay, you may be brief. I would be happy to release you before 11.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Yes, indeed, we received the request to present that witness to this Honorable Committee. And it's true, we had requested for more time, but if you can indicate to us a date, or you give us a date on when we need to present this committee, we will gladly do that. The reason we are saying this is
service to take care of that.
Oh, okay, so the clerk of the Senate will be in touch,
yes,
so that we have a designated liaison officer who then acts as a bridge between the two institutions.
Exactly.
Honorable members, so I think let's summarize it again from the Bible. IG, catch for us the little foxes. They might look small in the overall scheme of things, but the things they do result in death when drugs are not in hospitals. The things they do result in illiteracy when ECD centers are not being funded. The things they do can compromise the future of this nation. Those little foxes that ruin our vineyards. Please catch them for us. Senator Dulo, we were closing, but let me allow you to say one thing.
Actually, I was talking to CS Murkomen, so on some issues in my county of insecurity. Now,
messing up everyone. Yesterday, I was there. I went to Kitui. I left actually this place around 10 because an attack had been planned and executed on one of our rivers by the cartels that are destroying our rivers. They cut into pieces one man, they killed him. They seriously injured 4 others, and scores of women were beaten up and raped. Chair, that matter started here, and we raised this matter in an audit. And it has escalated, and Chair, I want to escalate this matter to the office of the Inspector General of Police. Because what has happened is that somehow this cartel is big enough and it seems to have infiltrated the service in Kitui County. They have actually managed to disable Ngune Police Station, which is a divisional police office, and ensured that the OCS and the officers have no means of transport. They don't have a vehicle. In fact, I was lucky yesterday when I arrived there because they wanted to give me some coverage. He had to ask for a vehicle from around 35 kilometers away to bring him to the scene. IG, I'll share the details with you on this organized cartel. It's a crime. It's nothing less of a crime. People have been killed in this. And my request, Chair, through you, is that at the very least, I want a commitment, to request a commitment from the IG, that at the very least, the police officers operating in that area of Ngune, Mwingi, be empowered, beginning with just stationing a vehicle at the Ngune police station for the officers to be able to move around. And those that have stayed there long enough, IG, to be moved and replaced with officers who are ready to collaborate with the public to protect our environment. Chair, I yield.
Okay, did you want a commitment from the IG now? Or
please, if you can.
Want
if
to
you
take
can.
note?
Yes.
IG, are you able to comment on that?
I can give a general comment on the same way. Thank you very much, Chair and honorable members. And in a very, very special way, I want to thank Senator Wabua for raising that issue, because it is by, coming out openly that we can also be able to, to indulge in some of these issues and look even into the investigations, the way the investigations are being handled. Number one, let me start by saying that yes, it is true that the National Police Service have not been doing very well when it comes to matters motor transport. And more transport plays a critical role in our operations. But I must also hasten to say that I appreciate our government because a lot is being done in that direction. And I know in a few weeks we are going
are designed to beat up senators and people who criticize what governors are doing. But we can have a meeting specifically for that. Thank you for the commitments you have made and for the goodwill that you have demonstrated. There being no other business, this meeting is adjourned. Honorable members of the county, and if there is no communication from Marsabit County, I think let me hear your comments if before we give directions.
Chair, I think we had agreed as a committee because we are pressed for time, and the 31st March is only a few days away. Chair, Section 19 of the Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Act is very clear. I think I want to agree with, you know, Senator Okongo Mugeni has always insisted that we are so powerful and we have so much power as a committee that is derived from the Constitution. Article 125 of the Constitution that establishes the committees and the standing orders of the Senate. The Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Section 19. Chair, we have agreed because of time. We are following the court's directive. If we go beyond March, we will be cited for the contempt against the court. And when we generate reports after the deadline provided by the court as per direction of Article 229, then it will be a clear violation of the law. So, Chair, I want to agree with you. Let us move suamoto, issue summonses pronto, let the governor, and I'm happy the Inspector General of Police has agreed that when the committee, through your directive, they will always willing to partner with us. Let us issue summonses. Failure, we request the IG to produce the witness, because accountability, Chair, is not a privilege or a favor. It's a constitutional obligation. And if you don't want to account for the public resources, the best you can do is just resign and allow other Kenyans to do that job. So, Chair, let us issue summonses. The governor should come here. And I think, Chair, I want to appeal, sorry for taking long, I want to appeal to our Kenyan citizens wherever they are. I think this the law allows, and Okongo, you can guide me on this, for citizen arrest. If your governor has failed to appear before accountability committee like public accounts, we want to appeal to our citizens in Marsabit and any other part. If a governor fails, can the citizens assist us by arresting their governor? Because it's provided under the law, Chair. And I want to appeal to Kenyans, any governor who will not appear to account for the resources allocated, 2027, they should be punished by being sent home. Let us get Kenyans who can account for the resources. Chair, I have seen, they have said they want 534 billion allocated to them. Why would they want money and not willing to account for the money? So, Chair, I think that is where the disconnect, and I think we said yesterday, you were on the floor of the House, that even as a Senate, the Finance and Budget Committee must be reluctant until the people account. Let us governors account first, and then we give. Account, and then we give. I think that would be the easiest way to do those things, Chair. So I yield and let us issue summonses pronto.
I think you raise an interesting point. Account, then we disburse. Because that's a principle that the National Treasury is even using in terms of exchequer release. That if you have not accounted for what was sent, then we cannot give you more. We'll figure out how we can achieve that through law, but we are not powerless. The IG has clearly demonstrated and made the commitment that anyone who refuses to obey directives of Parliament, we just need to give him the date and the time, and we will arrest that person and produce him here within 24 hours.
Sorry, Chair, before my colleague, I just forgot a small issue. Is there a way, colleagues, that this committee can surcharge for the expenses of OAG and other stakeholders who come here? so that, our brothers and sisters who are the office of the auditor have traveled, they have used expenses, you call them nugatory, when they are coming here. Is there a way we can develop the working to ensure that any governor who does not give us a request for postponement in good time, we can surcharge them, say that the next time when they appear under summonses, apart from paying the mandatory 500,000 plus, we as a committee who have powers, we can invoke our powers and surcharge them so that the reimbursement of the stakeholders who have traveled a long way. Because I know the OAG, maybe we can do something about that, just my thinking, Chair.
Okay, I think it's a conversation you have had. It comes back to us. We'll need to apply our minds to it. Honorable members, why don't we just make recommendation? In this case, the governor of Marsabit was invited. He did not request for a postponement. He did not communicate with the committee. The Auditor General traveled all the way to be able to carry on their constitutional duty, but the governor is not here. We will therefore issue summons to compel the appearance of the governor of Marsabit to appear before this committee. I think that's the direction of the committee. Now, we have meetings lined up for tomorrow, and I've taken note that we have received letters of requesting for postponement for the two entities that are appearing tomorrow.
Yes, Chair.
What are the entities?
Machakos and Homa Bay.
And Homa Bay.
Yes.
Did we receive their letters within the timelines, yes, as per our rules of procedure?
Yes, we did.
So if they came in proper timelines, then we will reschedule them. And I think maybe we'll look at our schedule and see how we can accommodate all this in the month of March. Now that perhaps tomorrow could be open, we don't have governors appearing before us, I want to encourage the Secretariat. The 10 counties that have appeared before us, let's prepare their reports. We want to take the first 10 reports to the floor of the House so that Kenyans can see the strong recommendations that we are making. Because they're asking, after this room, what next? So we want to be taking batches of 10. Haven't we considered at least 10 counties in the last 2 weeks?
Yes, we have.
How many to be precise?
I can check shortly.
Yeah, so can we use tomorrow, now that the governors are not coming, not as a committee, but as a technical team, for you to prepare the reports, to allow us to adopt the reports next week and table the reports before the House, perhaps by end of next week, for the first 10 counties that have